Okay, now let's look at number 17. 17 says model using a number line 2 times negative 5. Well, the first thing we have to do is number our number line, right? So here we go, 0, and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So basically the same numbers, just negatives, as they are going away from 0. And now I can start at 0 to model my multiplication, and notice that the first number, that tells me the number of groups that I'm going to have. Another name for groups is jumps. Okay, so I'm going to jump 2 times, and each jump is going to be 5 spaces. And because that's a negative 5, it's going to be 5 spaces to the left. So that's what exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here at 0, and I'm going to jump twice, 5 spaces each time. So here we go. The first jump that I do, I'm going to have to go all the way over here to negative 5. And the next jump I'm going to have to do is going all the way over here to negative 10. So this is a negative 5 jump. That's a negative 5 jump. So my answer is negative 10. Okay, the same thing we're going to do here for modeling division. We have a 0, and we're going to, I'm actually going to see if I can copy and paste all this right here. I used to remember how to do it. With this arrow right here, I believe that's right. Well, that's not what we want to do. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so we're going to label this number line again, and we have 6, and this time we're going to have a total of 6, and we're going to have to jump back to negative in negative 2 increments and see how many groups that gave us. Okay, so here we're going to have to go to positive 6, so it's kind of working backwards because the opposite of multiplication is division. So if we just modeled multiplication on this top one and we ended up at negative 10, now we're going to go backwards to see how many jumps we did. Okay, so first we're going to start at 6, and we're going to jump negative 2 spaces each time. So that means to the left because that's a negative number. So I want to jump once to the left, twice to the left, and 3 times to the left till you get back to 0. So this is a negative 2, that's a negative 2, and that's a negative 2 jump. How many jumps did we do? We did 3 jumps. So my answer is 3. That's how you model it using a number line. Okay, number 19. Model using counters. This is where we talk about boys and girls going to a dance and all the good stuff. So by now you should be good at doing all these. Okay, let's look at the first number. It's a negative 5. So I'm going to going to use the red one because it's a negative. So I'm going to draw 5 negatives. And I'm going to put my negative symbols inside of them. Then I'm going to use 3 positives. I'm going to add 3 positives. So it's kind of like having 5 girls, and then here come 3 boys. How many couples can I make? Remember, that's what we were talking about before when we did this activity in class, when we were making couples. So this is one couple right here. They're going to go dancing, go away. Here's another one. They're going to go dancing, and then they're going to go home. The guy is going to take the girl home, and then he's going to go home. So my answer, the only people who are left in the dance floor still without a dance partner was 2 girls, 2 negatives. So my answer is negative 2. Now we're going to do the same thing for subtraction. But remember, subtraction, we read this little subtraction symbol We don't read it. We don't do copy, change in this case. I mean, we can if you want to, but the correct way of doing this is to read that subtraction symbol as take away. We're taking a flashback back to elementary, and we are listening to our elementary teacher saying take away instead of something else. So I'm going to draw my 4 negative counters. As the first step you always do, you always model the first number, which is -4. Then I'm going to take away 6 negatives. Uh-oh, I can't take away 6 negatives, I only have 4. So that means I'm going to have to wait for 2 more couples to come in so that you can have 2 extra girls. Once you have those 2 couples that came in, now you have 4 that you started with, and these 2 girls from the couples, those are 6 girls that you can take away, 6 negatives. From the 0 pairs, I'm going to take those 2 negatives and I'm going to take them out. So the only thing I have left is 2 positives, which is my answer, +2. Okay, and finally, oops, we're going to do the last one, model using counters 3 times -4. Well, the way we're going to do that is we're going to actually draw the counters, and then we're going to group them together and see how much we get. Because the first number we have, well, actually that's division. We're going to actually have this many groups, and we're going to have this many counters. So we're going to have 3 groups. Here's one group, here's another group, here's another group. And inside one of those, each one of those, you have to have 4 negative counters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 4 are the counters inside each group. So the question is, how many counters do I have total? Well, I have 4, 4, and 4. That's 8 plus 4 more, that's 12. So my answer is 12. But because all those counters are negative, my answer is -12. Okay, now number 22. Model using counters, -10 divided by 5. So now we have 10 negative counters that we have to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and dividing by 5 means you're going to be cutting them. We're going to be grouping them into 5 sections. Into groups of 5 rather. So here's my first group of 5. Nope, not there. Here. My first group of 5. And then the next group of 5 is going to be over here. So how many groups do I have? I have 2 groups of 5. So -10 grouped by 5 divided by 5 is 2. You cannot have negative groups. It's just 2 groups. Okay? Now to find the sum of -3 and 6. Here's where the integer part of the lesson comes in. We did it already with counters. We did it already with number lines. So now we have to use those rules that we talked about. Okay, and the rules are, the really simple way to remember this is, if it's the same sign, we're going to add them and we're going to find the sum. And if it's different signs, we're going to subtract the numbers and we're going to keep the sign of the number that's biggest from both of us. Okay, so here's the rule. Same sign? Nope. One is negative, one is positive. Different signs? Yes. So am I going to do what? I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3, right? And 6 minus 3 is 3, and we're going to use the sign of the number that's the biggest number, or farthest away from 0 on the number line. -3 is only 3 units away from 0 on the number line, but 6 is 6 units away from 0 on the number line. So 6 is farther away, we're going to use the symbol for 6. And the symbol for 6 is positive, so my answer is just going to be +3. Okay, now find the difference between, and this is number 23. Now number 24 says find the difference between 8 and -2. But when we find the difference, it's the same thing as addition, but we have to do the copy, change. So we have 8 minus a negative 2, and we're going to do copy, change. So we're going to copy, change, and then change. Copy the first one is just 8. Change that minus to a plus. Change that 2, negative 2 to a positive 2. Well, this becomes a really easy problem. 8 plus 2 equals 10. So my answer is just 10. Now number 25. 25 is looking for a product. And a product means you got to multiply. So number 25, we're going to have to multiply 3 numbers together. And this is going to be really easy if you remembered what we did in class. So we have a negative 5 times a negative 3 times a negative 2. When we have these numbers together, remember, let's just multiply them as if they were regular numbers. What's 5 times 3? 15. And 15 times 2? 30. Yeah, good job. So there's my 30. Now this is where the fun part comes in. Remember those rulers that we transferred to the answer? And we dropped them if we had more than one? That's exactly what we're going to have. I mean, more than 2 rulers. So this negative sign right here, that ruler, gets transferred to the answer. So that makes the answer a negative. Now this one here transfers to the answer as well. And this makes the answer a positive. 2 negatives make a positive when you multiply. And then the last one here, we're going to have to put it in there. But remember, we don't have enough space for this next negative, so we have to drop that positive, and it comes back to a negative. So my answer is negative 30 for the product of all 3 numbers multiplied together. Same thing for number 26. Number 26 is exactly the same way. We have negative 15, and we're going to divide it by 5. Well, 15 divided by 5 is 3, right? Because 5 times 3 is 15. And we have one negative sign in our problem, so we're going to change it to the answer, and it's negative 3. Okay, now, number 27, 28, they're talking about squares and square roots. Remember that if we're talking about squares and square roots, we are talking about how many numbers multiplied by itself gives you the number that we need. So here's what we need. It says the square root of 89 falls between which 2 whole numbers. And if you do your multiples, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, because that's 2 times 2, 3 squared is 6, 4 squared is 16. Now, I know I just said 6. Mr. Regaño, I'm going to leave it too fast. I'm about to lose power. Let's see, there's the 9. And so on. You can do all the multiplication tables like this with the squares, and you find to see which 2 whole numbers will 89 be in between. And whichever one it is, then your answer goes there. If a square lawn has a side dimensions of 12 yards, what is the area? And the area is going to be when you multiply the side times the side. That's going to give you the area. Since we have 2 sides and each side is 12, just multiply 12 times 12 and you get your area for number 28. Okay, this is 27. And then to simplify the expressions, just go ahead and watch the other video if you need to on simplifying expressions, the order of operations. These are the problems that we worked out in the class that day. So hopefully you don't need help with number 29 and 30. That's it. Hopefully you study. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow in class.